The night falls gently over the hills of ancient Greece. A soft breeze carries the scent of olive trees and distant seas, and the stars shimmer quietly in the sky, like scattered threads of silver. Somewhere beyond mortal eyes, a hero walks, a figure of strength, courage, and heart, whose journey stretches from shadowed halls of the underworld to the glittering heights of Olympus, from restless ocean tides to the endless expanse of the stars. This is the story of Hercules, son of Zeus, a hero unlike any other. Not all his battles are fought with sword or club. Some are fought in silence, in the quiet corridors of grief, patience, and understanding. Some victories are unseen, yet carry weight deeper than any roar of triumph. Tonight, you will follow Hercules as he faces shadows and storms, gods and monsters, dreams and tides, and journeys across the night sky itself. You will walk beside him through darkness and light, learning that true courage lies not only in strength, but in heart, mind, and spirit. So settle in, take a deep breath, and let the soft whisper of ancient Greece guide you into a world of myth, magic, and quiet heroism. Close your eyes and step gently into the adventures of Hercules, the hero of shadow, sea, and stars. The night had fallen softly over the hills of ancient Greece. The wind whispered through olive groves, carrying the faint scent of distant seas, and stars shimmered like scattered silver across the velvet sky. Somewhere in the twilight, a figure moved with purpose, yet without hurry. Hercules, son of Zeus, walked beneath the watchful gaze of the moon. His shoulders bore the weight of legend, yet tonight, his steps were guided not by fame or challenge, but by a message that chilled him even more than any lion's roar or hydra's snap. It had come with no warning, no flourish of trumpet or blazing light, only a spirit, pale and fleeting, who whispered of a darkness that slumbered beneath the earth. A shadow rises in Hades' realm, it said, voiced like the sigh of falling leaves. Not of monsters, but sorrow. Only you may mend it, or be claimed by it. Hercules' heart, so used to triumph in battle, tightened. He had faced beasts taller than mountains, storms wilder than oceans, even the wrath of jealous gods, but never this. Yet the son of Zeus was brave, and bravery does not ask for reason. He descended. The journey into the underworld was quieter than he expected. No roars, no snapping jaws, only the soft echo of his own steps and the distant ripple of the river Styx. Shadows clung to the walls, moving like living smoke, whispering secrets of lost lives, lives once vibrant and now silent. A shiver ran down Hercules' spine. Even strength, he realized, could not banish sorrow. Deeper, he found a chamber where light had never touched. And there, waiting like a sentinel of quiet despair, was Thanatos, the god of death. He did not raise a weapon. Instead, his gaze pierced Hercules' soul. "You are strong, demigod," Thanatos said softly, "but strength alone cannot save all. Some shadows cannot be cut, only understood." Hercules knelt in the darkness, feeling for the first time the weight of his own heart. He remembered the mortal lives he had failed, the helpless faces he could not shield, the quiet deaths he had witnessed. And in that chamber, he understood. Courage was not only the might of arms, but the endurance of sorrow. Then he saw her, a mortal girl, trapped in endless grief, her spirit dim, her form barely more than a shadow. Hercules approached with care, speaking gently, telling stories of hope, courage, and the promise of dawn. He did not fight, he did not conquer, he listened. Slowly, imperceptibly, the darkness lifted, the girl's spirit brightened, and the underworld itself seemed to exhale. When Hercules emerged, dawn spilled over the hills, gilding the world in soft gold. He was unchanged in body, but within, he carried a quiet strength deeper than any battle won. Heroes are remembered for feats of strength and courage, yet it is in quiet moments like these, where no eyes witness, and no songs celebrate, that true heroism is born. And so, beneath the rising sun, Hercules walked forward, not knowing what new shadows might wait, yet certain that he could face them. The dawn had barely kissed the hills when Hercules found himself walking along a path that shimmered with golden light. The air was cooler than the mortal world, crisp with a strange clarity that seemed to hum with quiet power. Somewhere above, the peaks of Olympus glimmered like crystal towers, rising through drifting clouds. This was no ordinary morning. A whisper of wind carried with it a summons, and Hercules knew, without words, that the gods had called him. Zeus, father of gods and men, awaited him at the gates of Olympus. His presence was grand yet gentle, like sunlight spilling across a lake. "Hercules," Zeus said, his voice deep but calm, "you have faced monsters and shadows, yet a trial awaits you among the gods themselves. Come and let us see if your courage is true, not only in strength but in heart and mind." Hercules stepped through the gates, feeling the weight of countless eyes, gods of old, their expressions serene, expectant, curious. The clouds shifted beneath his feet, soft as velvet, and yet solid, supporting him as if the world itself had opened to guide his steps. He felt small here, not by comparison of power, but by the sheer presence of the divine. Athena, goddess of wisdom, approached first. "Strength alone is not always enough, Hercules," she said, her eyes luminous with quiet light. "Today you will learn the value of patience, of listening, of understanding beyond what your arms can achieve." The first trial appeared as a storm on the horizon, not of rain or wind, but of swirling colors and shifting forms. Olympus itself seemed alive, testing his perception. The clouds roared softly. The lightning painted patterns across the sky like the brushstrokes of some divine artist. Hercules could feel the power beneath his feet, the pulse of mountains and rivers, the rhythm of the world itself. Zeus's voice broke the hum of the storm. "You must navigate the trials of Olympus, not by fighting, but by choosing wisely. Listen to each voice, observe each path. The gods themselves will guide, but the answers lie within you." Hercules moved forward, his mind alert, his heart steady. The first figure he encountered was Hermes, the messenger god, who darted around like a quicksilver spark. "Welcome, hero," Hermes said, smiling. "The first test is subtle. Words may deceive, appearances may shift. Choose carefully, and do not let pride cloud your judgment." Before him appeared 3 paths, one lined with mirrors reflecting his greatest victories, one shadowed with echoes of his failures, and one bathed in soft light, whispering unknown truths. Hercules paused. He could not rely on his strength here. Each path required discernment. He walked the shadowed path first, confronting memories of battles lost, friends he could not save, and mistakes made in haste. Each step was heavy, yet with every reflection, he whispered forgiveness to himself, to others, to the weight of his past. The storm above shifted, calmer now, as if acknowledging his humility. The next path led him to a field of silver grass that shimmered like starlight, where gentle voices spoke riddles of compassion, courage, and understanding. Here, Hercules listened more than acted, absorbing lessons of patience and wisdom that no sword or club could teach. Finally, the soft light path opened into a quiet grove where Zeus himself awaited. "Hercules," the god said, "you have faced not monsters, but choices, not enemies, but understanding. True courage is knowing when to act and when to wait. Strength alone does not shape destiny. Heart and mind do." Hercules knelt, humbled by the words and the lesson. "I understand, Father," he said softly. "Courage is more than force. It is patience, empathy, and wisdom." Zeus smiled, a gentle warmth radiating through the grove. "Remember this, Hercules. Many trials await you. Not all will be won with muscle or might. But you will always have the strength to endure, the heart to care, and the mind to choose wisely." As Hercules left Olympus, the clouds parted, spilling golden light onto the hills below. The world felt familiar, yet transformed. He had walked among gods and learned that even the greatest heroes are still learners, still travelers on paths of quiet understanding, and as the sun rose higher, Hercules' shadow stretched long across the earth, not as a symbol of might, but of measured courage, thoughtful action, and the quiet wisdom of one who had faced the storms of Olympus itself. The night had fallen softly over the hills of Greece, and the moon hung low, pale and watchful, casting silver light across the quiet world. Hercules, weary from his trials in the underworld and Olympus, wandered beneath the stars, feeling the familiar pull of destiny. Yet this night, a new call stirred within the air, a whisper carried not by wind or mortal voice, but by the faint shimmer of something unseen. It was Athena who appeared, cloaked in the subtle glow of moonlight. Her eyes were calm, her presence steady. "Hercules," she said, "you have faced monsters, sorrow, and the trials of gods. But now you must confront yourself. Enter the labyrinth of dreams. Within it, your fears, hopes, and regrets will take shape. Only by walking its paths can you understand the deeper truths of courage and heart." Hercules felt no fear. He had faced shadows deeper than night itself, storms wilder than any ocean, yet this challenge stirred something unfamiliar, a quiet apprehension, like the pause before a breath. He nodded and stepped forward, and the world around him shifted. The air grew thick with stars, and the ground beneath his feet softened into silver mist. A labyrinth rose, twisting and spiraling infinitely, each turn glimmering with soft light. The walls shimmered with reflections, some familiar, some strange, like memories caught between waking and dreaming. As Hercules entered, the labyrinth breathed around him, shifting, alive, aware of every step. The first chamber was filled with echoes of his own victories: the Nemean lion, the Ceryneian hind, the tales of towns he had saved. Each victory shimmered like a distant star, glowing with pride and warmth. But even here, Hercules sensed whispers beneath the glow, faint murmurs reminding him of the consequences of pride, of moments when strength alone had not been enough. He stepped further and entered a hall where shadows of failure stretched long across the silver mist. Faces he could not save, friends lost, mistakes made in haste. They all drifted toward him, silent, yet weighty. Hercules knelt among them, speaking softly, acknowledging their pain and his own. "I carry you with me," he whispered. "Your sorrow will not be forgotten, nor will it define me. I will learn, I will endure, I will grow." The labyrinth shifted again, guiding him into a chamber of mirrors, each reflecting different possibilities of himself. The hero he had been, the man he could become, the shadow of doubt that lingered at the edges of his heart. Here, Hercules faced the hardest trial, Not monsters, not gods, not sorrow, but himself. He studied each reflection, feeling the quiet lessons hidden in their eyes. Courage, patience, humility, empathy, all waiting to be recognized and embraced. As he walked, a gentle voice whispered through the labyrinth, soft as the rustle of leaves. It was Morpheus, god of dreams, appearing as a figure of shifting light. "Hercules," he said, "the labyrinth shows not what is lost, but what may be found. Strength is in the body, yes, but the heart, mind, and spirit are the true paths to heroism. Learn these paths well, for your journey is far from over." Hercules felt the truth in the words. He had faced lions, storms, gods, and shadows, but now he understood that the quiet struggles of the mind and heart were as important as any battle. Each step through the labyrinth revealed another layer of understanding, another whisper of wisdom. The final chamber awaited, a serene glade bathed in silver moonlight, with soft mist curling like sleeping smoke. Here he found no monsters, no shadows, only a sense of calm and reflection. Hercules sat among the mist, feeling the lessons of the labyrinth settle within him. Courage was patience. Strength was restraint. Heroism was understanding. And even in silence, even in dreams, one could make a difference. When Hercules emerged from the labyrinth, the first light of dawn brushed the hills, gilding the world in soft gold. The stars faded, but their quiet lessons remained, etched into his heart. He walked forward, feeling lighter, wiser, and yet aware that the journey continued. Many adventures awaited, many challenges unseen, but now he carried not only the might of his arms, but the quiet wisdom of his spirit. And so Hercules moved through the waking world, a hero tempered by dreams, shadowed trials, and the soft, enduring glow of understanding. Somewhere, beyond the horizon, new journeys stirred, the tides of Poseidon, the secrets of the night sky, the whispers of gods and mortals alike. And Hercules, son of Zeus, would meet them all, not only with strength, but with heart, mind, and the quiet courage of a hero who had walked among shadows and stars. The morning air was thick with the scent of salt and sea foam as Hercules approached the coast, the sound of gentle waves lapping against sunlit rocks carrying a rhythm that felt older than memory. Though he had walked the shadowed halls of the underworld and the gleaming heights of Olympus, this journey was different. It was not mountains or storms he faced, but the vast, endless tide of the ocean and the will of Poseidon, god of the seas, whose power could shape continents or cradle a tiny shell in his palm. Hercules stood at the water's edge, watching the waves shimmer in sunlight like scattered diamonds. From the depths, a voice rose, rolling and soft as the tide itself. "Hercules," it said, "you have learned courage, wisdom, and the quiet strength of heart. But the ocean is restless, and its creatures suffer unrest. Come to the deep and walk among the tides, for there is more to learn of patience and understanding." With a steady step, Hercules waded into the surf. The water was cool but welcoming, embracing him like an old friend. Slowly he sank beneath the waves, not by force, but by invitation, and found himself in a world unlike any he had known. Soft beams of sunlight danced through sapphire waters, illuminating schools of glimmering fish, towering kelp forests swaying like gentle dancers, and coral palaces rising from the seabed like forgotten dreams. Poseidon appeared, not in wrath, but with calm authority. His hair flowed like the foam of the sea, his eyes deep pools of endless blue. "Hercules," he said, The ocean is not merely water and waves. It carries life, sorrow, joy, and memory. Some mortals forget this and disturb the balance. It is your task to witness, to listen, and to guide, not to conquer. The first task appeared in the form of a gentle current, pulling Hercules toward a reef where young sea spirits were trapped in a tangle of abandoned nets. Hercules did not fight, but carefully untangled them, his hands steady, gentle, aware that even the slightest force could harm delicate lives. With patience and care, the spirits were freed, their soft songs of gratitude echoing through the currents like distant bells. Further into the ocean, a school of dolphins guided Hercules to a hidden cavern, where shadows moved beneath the water like drifting clouds. Here, the spirits of sailors lost at sea lingered, restless and sorrowful. Hercules approached with reverence, speaking softly, comforting them with words of peace and hope. Slowly, the spirits calmed, and the ocean itself seemed to sigh, waves settling into a gentle rhythm. Poseidon watched, nodding. Strength alone cannot soothe the ocean, nor can it calm the hearts of those who linger. Patience, compassion, and understanding. These are the tools of a hero in realms beyond land and fire. The final challenge was a tempest, not of anger, but of imbalance. The currents clashed, the tides rose and fell unpredictably, and the sea itself groaned in unrest. Hercules did not wrestle the waves. He moved with them, listening to their rhythm, sensing the flow of water as one might follow a melody. Slowly, gently, he guided the currents back into harmony, allowing the ocean to breathe once more. When he emerged, the sun was low, painting the sky with gold and crimson. The waves whispered against the shore as if in thanks, and Poseidon's voice echoed softly in the breeze. Hercules, remember this. Every being, great or small, has a place and purpose. True heroism lies not in bending nature to your will, but in understanding it and moving with its currents rather than against them. Hercules nodded, feeling the lesson settle deep within him. He had faced beasts, shadows, storms, gods, and labyrinths. Yet the ocean had taught him something new, the quiet strength of harmony, the courage to move with the world rather than against it. As he walked back onto the shore, the tides lapped gently at his feet, carrying whispers of the sea's wisdom with every ebb. He looked toward the horizon, knowing other adventures awaited, the stars above, the mysteries of night, and the journeys yet unseen. Hercules, son of Zeus, hero of land, shadow, and sea, walked forward with heart, mind, and spirit as strong as his mighty arms, ready for whatever lay beyond the horizon. Night had fallen over the hills of Greece like a soft, dark velvet, and the stars glimmered faintly, scattered across the heavens like delicate silver threads. Hercules, weary from journeys through shadowed halls, storms, and the restless tides, stood atop a quiet hill, gazing upward. The sky seemed to call to him, a subtle shimmer that drew him closer to the mysteries above. A soft voice, gentle as moonlight, reached his ears. It was Selene, goddess of the moon, her figure luminous and serene, drifting across the sky. "Hercules," she said, "you have faced beasts, sorrow, gods, and sea. But the cosmos holds lessons that cannot be learned on earth or in shadow. Walk among the stars tonight, and let their wisdom touch your heart." The world beneath him softened, as if bending to her will. Hercules felt light as air, as though the hills, the forests, and the oceans had receded, leaving only the quiet expanse of night. He rose into the sky, carried gently by unseen currents, and found himself among constellations shimmering like jewels. Orion stretched his luminous bow. Andromeda shimmered in quiet grace, and Cassiopeia's throne glowed with the stories of ages past. Nyx, the goddess of night, appeared as a cloak of stars, her presence immense and calming. "Hercules," she whispered, "even heroes of great strength are small before the vastness of the cosmos. Yet each choice, each act of courage, ripples through time and space, touching worlds seen and unseen. Tonight you will understand the quiet power of patience, reflection, and wonder." Hercules wandered among the constellations, each step soft as moonlight. The stars themselves seemed alive, whispering tales of mortals and gods, victories and losses, love and sorrow, hope and quiet endurance. He listened, feeling each story in his heart, understanding that heroism is not only in mighty deeds but in attention, care, and reflection. A river of starlight flowed before him, and upon its banks were the spirits of dreamers, mortals whose wishes and hopes had never touched earth, yet who lingered in the quiet spaces between night and dawn. Hercules knelt beside them, speaking softly, offering comfort and encouragement, his presence a beacon in the endless dark. The spirits smiled, drifting gently into the stars, becoming part of the constellations themselves, their dreams woven into the fabric of the universe. Selene guided Hercules to the edge of the Milky Way, where the stars swirled like silver mist. Here, Hercules faced the final test of this cosmic journey. Not strength, nor courage, nor even compassion, but the quiet surrender to awe. He gazed across the infinite expanse, understanding for the first time the vastness beyond mortal life, the delicate balance of worlds, and the subtle interweaving of every action, thought, and choice. Even heroes, Nyx said softly, must learn that they are part of something greater. Strength is necessary, courage is admirable, but understanding the cosmos and one's place within it is the greatest wisdom of all. Hercules closed his eyes, feeling the quiet pull of eternity. His heart, tempered by shadows, storms, oceans, and dreams, now beat in rhythm with the stars themselves. And as he opened his eyes, he saw a vision of Earth below, the hills, the forests, the ocean tides, and the mortal lives that continued, unseen, each connected by the quiet threads of existence. Slowly, gently, Hercules descended, carried by starlight and soft cosmic winds, back to the hills where night embraced the world. The stars lingered above, whispering of stories yet to unfold, of adventures waiting in quiet corners, and of lessons still to be learned. Hercules walked among the hills, feeling lighter, wiser, and infinitely more aware of the delicate, beautiful balance of life. He did not know what trials awaited him next. Perhaps storms would call, beasts would rise, or gods would summon him once more. Yet he carried the lessons of shadows, Olympus, the labyrinth, the ocean, and the stars, courage tempered by wisdom, strength guided by heart, and the quiet patience to listen, reflect, and endure. And so, beneath the silver glow of the moon and the gentle shimmer of countless stars, Hercules continued his journey, not merely as a hero of deeds, but as a guardian of quiet courage, a traveler between worlds, and a witness to the endless beauty of the night sky. The adventures would continue, but for now, he walked in calm, soft steps as the world drifted into sleep and the stars whispered their ancient lullabies.